Oh my goodness me, I have been muted this entire fucking time. Hello! Welcome everyone to round 16 of season 17 here in China at the Shanghai International Circuit, the third to last race of the season. So, today, a potentially championship deciding race. The two main contenders in the championship are Sully and PC Woody. PC Woody leading the way by 10 points over Sully. Then we've got Gabri and Phantom Fox also in the hunt still, with Gabri 45 behind. No, that's wrong. Wrong standings. Gabri 47 behind and Phantom 63 behind. But as you can see already, Sully is not in this lobby. Sully is unfortunately not actually racing tonight. And we also already know that Sully is going to be missing the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the last round of the season. And knowing that, it means that if PC Woody gets Sully more than 26 points behind after this race, he would be out of mathematical contention for the championship. And that with 2 races to go after this, 3 races to go including this one. Of course, that could then change once again if Sully's situation changes and he is able to make Abu Dhabi after all. But yeah, this could already be the decider for PC Woody, with Sully not even able to race. Of course, Gabri and Phantom still within contention as well. Especially for Phantom, it's going to be quite tough, and for Gabri as well. After today, they need to be within 52 points. In the case of Gabri, that means he needs to avoid losing more than 5 points to PC Woody. And in the case of Phantom, it means he has to gain 9 points on PC Woody. In the case of PC Woody against Sully, if PC Woody finishes P2 or above with the fastest lap in P2, so he needs fastest lap if he's P2, if he's P1, doesn't matter, then PC Woody has gotten Sully out of contention, and then of course it depends. No, it doesn't. If PC Woody wins this race, he's champion basically, and if he's P2 with the fastest lap, then it depends where Gabri is finished. But either way, I mean, if PC Woody gets out of this race with a P2, at best, Gabri can bring the points gap down from 47 to 41 with 2 races to go. So realistically, even then, PC Woody has probably got 1 hand and 4 fingers on the championship trophy. And yeah, what a second half of the season he's had, and he's definitely deserved now to be in this position that he's in. Worked very, very hard after a slow start to the season by him to get himself into this position now, come the end of the season, in such a comfortable position. And yeah, he's really taken advantage of this longer season length, the 18 races that we added. Of course, 6 races more than any of the seasons since season 11, I think, when we made a change to 12. Before then was 16. So yeah, the longest season in a long time for sure. And it's working out nicely for PC Woody. At the moment, Gabri on pole with a 32.645. As we've got PC Woody over the line, and he's going to put in a 32.446 and steals away pole position for the moment at least. Cuckoo in third, then JM, always Edwin Lanky, Aussie, Viral, Pupdog, Action Brick have put in lap time so far. Weather report for today, all dry, no rain in the forecast, which is horrific news if you are Phantom or Viral or any of the other rain merchants in this division. In terms of reserve drivers for today, we actually have got not a single one. So all of the mains that are unable to attend have not been replaced. Those being Pocho, who didn't turn up without notice. Sully, of course, the most notable one. Flavors also not in this race. And then we have also got Mihai, who isn't racing in tonight's race. I will quickly take this opportunity to actually check the audio is working. Because it didn't work at the start of the game. When I say it didn't work, I just didn't have my microphone muted. Of course it doesn't work. Okay, yeah, the audio is indeed... you can hear me talk on stream. That's good. No fuck-ups on a second chance. open the stream chat as well, just in case, who knows. Maybe someone wants to yap to me. I'm all alone today, so I'm gonna need some chat entertainment for sure. On board with Sean right now, coming down towards the hairpin near the lap. 320 plus kph down this straight. Braking at the 100 meter board roughly. Got the car rotating in nicely. Lots of steering angle of course, and back on the power in second gear for our triple world champion. Next season teaming up with Kuko. Two having a long-standing rivalry of course, being two of the early dominant forces in Division 2. 32.798, that is from Sean. Puts him into third position, a strong start to qualifying for him. Vryle on another lap, representing Red Bull alone today. And of course there is one hell of a fight in the Constructors' Championship. A four-way battle that Red Bull are definitely now on the back foot for. With their, you can definitely say number one driver, without being mean to Vryle. Sully of course with an unbelievable start of the season, and not as good of a second half, but it is still enough for Red Bull to lead at the moment on 281 points, followed by Alpine, 262, Kuko and Guga having done a good job there, with both of them actually scoring pretty equally. Kuko 6th in the standings on 126, Guga 5th on 132, so yeah, very equal at Alpine, as Vryle gains just under 2/10 and goes in 9th fastest. Behind that, we've got McLaren, 255 points, Pisibuli and Ossi. Of course, Pisibuli doing most of the heavy lifting, but of course, the last time we raced in China, at least I think it was the last time, but for sure, we had a China race and Ossi actually won, which I think was last game. So, I reckon last time, because we don't do this track often, it's a horrible track. So, Ossi want to keep an eye out today as well, I would say. And after McLaren, we've also got Ferrari in contention, 240 points. So that's 41 points from 4th to 1st in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari, of course, Phantom and Lanky. With also, it's quite impressive how wide the spread is like of the drivers that we have in terms of the Drivers' Championship. I mean, Phantom is, for example, well, he's in mathematical contention and he is down in 4th. Lanky is in 9th. If you hear 4th and 9th, you don't think Constructors' Championship battle. And the same goes for Alpine, 5th and 6th. Even Red Bull, 2nd and 8th. McLaren is kind of the only one I actually kind of expect to be here based on where they are in the standings, 1st and 10th. Mainly because Pisibuli is 1st. Haas, unfortunately, not really in it. Gabri has done a great job this season. Flavors has tried his best. Let's put it like that. With that, Haas, they are in 5th in the standings, but quite far off, 176 points. Over 100 points back from Red Bull, so they will not be interfering in this battle for the Constructors' Championship. But those top 4 teams, crucial to keep an eye out for. Especially now the driver standings have sort of calmed down a little bit. It seems like Pisibuli has got it, well, no, I wouldn't say in the bag, but yeah, you would think he can only lose it from here. Of course, Pisibuli on pole right now as well, in the lead of the championship standings already. Sully missing 2 races today and Abu Dhabi, and Gabri over 40 points back, Phantom Fox over 60 points back. As Gabri goes top though, 32.288. Of course, he's not going to give up on the championship until it's officially over. As Phantom Fox goes back to the pits, isn't going to improve on that 9th place 33.0. Pub Dog, is he on a push lap right now? He would be using Alltech down here, I reckon, if he was, so probably not. Picks over the line with his first lap of the session, and he goes 15th, 34.232. Pisibuli on another lap, and he's up by 2 and a bit tenths, and that could put him back ahead of Gabri. 32.288 to beat. His previous best, a 32.466, as Kuko goes second fastest. 32.441 for the Alpine man. Alpine once again, strong qualifying, 2nd and 4th for Kuko and Guga. At least as it stands. Pisibuli does go top, 32.072. Another 2 tenths is put on Gabri there. In a crucial lap. Ossi at the moment in 6th position. I don't think he's on a push lap right now. I think he's going back to the pits. Yep. Edwin Being cautious to let him through in case he was on a push lap, which he wasn't, so we're all fine there. Next one over the line, I've got no idea. Who's that? I think that was Sean, who just went into 5th position, 32.798. Or is he just starting it up? I actually don't know. I'm not paying attention well enough, clearly. I apologize. Haas coming out to the line, but that's Gabriel on an in-lap. Behind that, the Red Bull. Viral, that must be done, on the out-lap, yep. After that is Pix, but he's invalidated. Then we have an Alpine, that's Kukro on the in-lap. Then a McLaren, that's Pisibuli on the in-lap. Okay, so the only one on a push lap right now would be Sean. And he is up by 2/10 in the first sector. 32.798 from Sean, his previous best, is enough for 5th fastest. 2 Alpines closely ahead of him, of course. Kuko, his teammate for next season, 3.5 tenths up is Sean right now. Big improvement coming from him, so they could put him in the top 3. And surely Sean is going to want to put an early statement into that team partnership for next season, make himself known as the #1 driver in that. Certainly one of the lineups to look out for next season as well in the championship fight. Sean, after so many seasons with picks, most of them in the Williams, one of them in the Sauber, has gotten himself a new teammate and then a long-time rival in that with Kukro. 2 of them being, yeah. I'm not sure if I actually said this. I said this earlier, so if I am literally just repeating myself, I do apologize. I'm not sure if I said this while I was muted. So if I am repeating myself, that's on me. But yeah, Viral up by just under 2/10 in the middle sector. That could put him into the top 10 for sure. He's only 6,000 behind always. 1 minute 50 to go, but this will be his last lap then. This needs to be a good one. Overtake mode used. Now down to DRS, and of course, DRS enabled as we go down towards the hairpin. 320 plus kph, 330 kph. In that Red Bull, breaking the 100 meter board. Gets the car on the apex nicely now, rotating from the corner, back on the throttle, and down towards the final corner. What is it going to be for Viral? Has he got enough for a top 10 starting position here? DRS enabled, deploy use already, it's out of ERS, losing some time down to the straight, down to the line, and it's enough for P10 right now, 33.138, but will he stay there? I'm not too sure. Pisibuli is staying in the pits for this last one, and so is Action Rick, P1 and P16, first and last in the pits. Everybody else has gone back out on track. And look at the chaos here. It's Gabri with one of the Alpines, and then Sean, I believe. Pixt, that is in. But the first couple of guys starting laps now. JM has gone over the line first. He's currently in 7th, 32.962. Also a driver that I would keep an eye out over the coming weeks. He is making his return to F1 Total after a long time away. And he was absolutely rapid back in the day in Division 2. Had a run of 3 wins, I believe, back in season 12, and almost, well, I was going to say almost in a run for... He did have a run for a championship, but then he had a couple of bad races and didn't get a championship in the end. Now he's back, and so far his pace isn't right up there, but he's certainly still quick. So if that, yeah, comes back a little bit, if he gains a little bit more pace once again, he could certainly be one of those names you will see in around the top 3 area time and time again. He's something decent up so far, 1.5 tenths gain. That could put him ahead of Ossi into 6th position, but there's a bit of a gap. Sean and Kuko are done. They missed the line. Well, Sean already just left, but Kuko missed the line for his final run. Let's have a quick look what Gabri's doing. Just coming from the first couple of corners, and this could be really the only guy I could maybe see beating Pisibuli. Everybody else is quite far away right now. Gabri in the first sector, 58 thousandths up. Guga also slightly up, but he would have to gain over half, oh, just, yeah, half a second basically to beat Pisibuli. JM over the line, it's enough for 5th position, 32.534, great final sector, as always jumps into 9th. Next up, Ossi. Pisibuli's McLaren teammate does not improve and stays in 7th position. Now the 2 Ferraris, Phantom, Lanky and then Phantom. Lanky stays in 12th, Phantom currently in 10th, let's see what he's got for us. That's enough for P7. Next up, Pubdog. And then very quickly, the Mercedes of Edwin and the Bazooka, I guess. Pub Dog 11th, Edwin 9th, Bazooka into the pits. Then we've got Pix, he's invalidated, pulls off the right hand side. Gabri. Can he steal pole position away from PC Woody here right in the end? 32.072 to beat for Gabri. First up though, Guga over the line. He's currently in 6th, 32.547, and he goes into 2nd place, 32.212. On the front row goes Guga River, but what has Gabri got first? 32.073. 1,000 of a second he's missing to PC Woody as Pix is an outlap somehow. He's in the grass. What am I doing here? Unbelievable stuff. What tight margins that is between our two championship protagonists in the driver standings as it stands. Exactly 1,000 PC Woody has got on Gabri in the end, staying in the pits on the last run. And it's just about worked out for him. He kept pole position anyway. Guga rounds out top 3, then his teammate Kugler right behind him. Alpine locking out the 2nd row, great qualifying for them. Sean in 5th position, followed by JM, fairly close between those two as well, less than half a 10th. Phantom Fox in 7th, then Aussie in 8th. Edwin in 9th, and always rounds out the top 10, followed by his teammate Pub Dog immediately after him. Viral in 12th, Lanky in 13th. Then we've got a big gap to Bazooka in 14th. Pix in 15th, didn't get a last run in either, and Action Rig in 16th position, 34.888, 2.8 seconds of pole position, a field spread of 2.8 seconds, but the top 13 was in the 2nd. Well, the 2nd and the 10th. Basically a 2nd. So fairly close grid here we've got in the Chinese Grand Prix of Division 2. Quite excited for that, to see how that plays out in the race. Of course, heavy tire wear around here as well, but the ideal strategy is definitely a one-stop. Medium to the hard, but it could be tricky to pull off, so we might see some medium hard, medium hard medium. I don't think we'll be seeing a soft, because if you have to do a two-stop, you definitely can't make a soft last for more than like 2 corners. Because that, I mean, and I'm not even joking, because that first corner complex is unbelievably tough on the tire. Those little snail sections put a lot of load on the front left especially. So it'll certainly be interesting to see how drivers manage that. Of course, you can also save a lot of tire wear just by backing off a little bit in that snail section alone. You just save so much tire wear on the front left if you take it a little bit slower, maybe lose a 10 for 2. But it can be worth it for sure if that's the difference between making a one-stop work or not. And you will actually save like 1 or 2% in that corner alone. And that will be worth so much, of course. So, drivers have finalized their strategy. We are ready for the formation lap here in China. Let's have a look at the tire choices from the drivers here. Expecting mostly mediums, of course. Okay, it's a bit of a hard group there. Just behind the front runners. Kuko, Sean, Jay and Phantom from 4th to 7th. Everyone on the hards. Rest of the field on the mediums though. Good news for Kuko that the guys behind him as well have got hards. And then Phantom is a little bit vulnerable to the guys behind him. He might lose some place off the start, but the hard will be faster fairly quickly because the medium does wear out a lot. And in the game suggests a one-stop strategy as well. Lap 15 is a bit early, I think. 13 laps on the mediums can be a stretch for sure. Maybe more like 11, 17, 12, 16 I think is the sort of window for the medium to the hard. But we shall see as the drivers line up on the grid. PC already on pole on the left hand side though. Gabri has the inside for the first corner. That can be quite crucial. If you get a good run, it's definitely possible to just stick a nose up the inside, and you can go quite late as well. There's lots of different lines you can take through that first section, so that is always very interesting to watch out for at the start of the Chinese Grand Prix. 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go here in China. PC already gets away pretty well, and now a little bit loose though on the second part of the traction. But he covers the inside. Gabri switches to the outside. Gabri trying to go around the outside through the first corner. That's surely not going to work out, is it? Is it? It's not. PC only holds onto the lead just about against Gabri. Then Guga, Kuko holding on the 3rd and 4th as well. Sean side by side with Aussie though. And there's contact behind that JM and Phantom Fox, I believe. Running into the wall, and now the rejoin. Phantom Fox goes into always out of the Grand Prix. And we've got a virtual safety car there. JM, Phantom Fox and Always all with their race already ruined in the first lap, especially Always out of the Grand Prix through no fault of his own there with the rejoin, I believe, from Phantom it was. At least from what I saw on the first glance, it's always difficult to tell in the heat of the moment. And let's see, Phantom Fox also with heavy wing damage, and JM also with quite heavy damage. Not quite as heavy as Phantom, but surely enough to make a pit stop on this opening lap. Yeah, okay, that's a lot of damage actually, a lot more than I thought initially. He's missing both end plates. So we are going to be seeing both Jay and Phantom into the pits on the opening lap. Only a virtual safety car as well, so that it doesn't even save him that much. So you see now, of course, allowing everyone to recharge their energy. And maybe Gabri can have another go at PC Relief. He has a good restart here. Have to be careful not to risk a drive-through penalty, though, I would say. VSC should be coming in soon. Everybody going single file still. And now it's gone in at the worst possible time for the leaders, I would say, coming out the last corner. But everyone managed to get away without a drive-through penalty. So the race is all good on that front. And of course it does mean out the VSC that there is effectively... Well, there is literally no break in the DRS train. Everybody is close to each other, of course. On the VSC, they can't build out any gaps. And now the battle for the race win, the battle for the well, the whole field really, is very much on. Excluding JM and Phantom Fox, they are in the pits and are going to be coming out a full pit stop behind the field. Absolute nightmare for Jay, Phantom, and Always. So Aussie has having a look at Sean. Of course, Aussie with the tyre advantage early on. But that will swing in Sean's favour very, very quickly, I reckon. The mediums really do not last that well around here. They have a lot of wear and the hards become faster fairly quickly. But you're gonna have to make the mediums last for at least 10 laps, I would say. Otherwise, you are going to struggle to make the hard last in the end as well. And then if you have to do a two-stop at this track, you lose a lot of time in the pit lane. So it really isn't worth two-stopping unless you absolutely have to. Aussie's putting a lot of pressure on Sean though. Sean almost dropping DRS to Kuko. Aussie's a bit too far behind here. We've got Bazooka with a move on Pigs on a move, as Pigs is off in the grass actually. But Gabri's having a look at PC in the final corner. Gabri up the inside, he goes. And I think he's got him there on the apex. Oh, they make contact as Gabri has a little wobble on traction. And PC opts to back out. Says there are so many laps left to go in this Grand Prix. I do not want to risk my championship position. I will let Gabri go. Oh, Gabri defending aggressively down the main straight as PC looks to go around the outside with the DRS. But nothing doing there. Gabri covers him off and now covers him off on the inside as well through the first two corners. Very, very aggressive from Gabri. PC, of course, he has a lot more to lose. Gabri, I mean, if Gabri doesn't win this race, I don't think he's really going to be driving to save a P2 or P3. That doesn't get him much of a chance in the standings in terms of the Drivers' Championship. He needs a race win, and ideally he needs PC really to be much lower than P2 as well to really eat into that gap. Only 3 races to go. He needs to make up 46 points if he wants to beat PC Woody to this championship. So he cannot allow himself to lose any more races to him. But now the DS on coming up, PC Woody has a good chance to re-overtake and take back the lead of this Grand Prix. A very good chance as well as ES fully loaded up. Gabri not so much. Also underfueled the car a little bit. You can see the yellow light on the dash. That is going to be PC Woody driving past in the DRS zone. Gabri has got nothing he can do against that. Looks back up the inside. But that would be very aggressive even for the standards he showed in the last lap. Did I just see some damage? No, I was imagining things. All fine. Top 9 though, all in one train. It's a bit of a break to Lanky, who's got front wing damage as well on the front left end plate. Must have smashed that one off as well. I think he might have been involved actually, because I saw the 2 Ferraris banging wheels on the opening lap, so I think he was involved in that collision between Jay, Phantom and Always. And that's why he might have gotten the damage. But the leaders are certainly gonna be putting on a show here, because Gabri is staying with PC Woody very nicely. Two of them seem to be on very equal pace at the moment. And this could be a battle that goes throughout the entire race, really. Guga and Kuko doing a good job, holding on behind. Ready to pick up any pieces these guys leave on the table. And of course, the Constructors' Championship as well. Very crucial for them to get a result like that, 3rd and 4th. That would be very valuable points for Alpine, but McLaren also in a great spot right now. 6th and 1st. Red Bull, only the one car, of course, in this race, rival in 8th. Not a whole lot of points for them. Meanwhile, Ferrari, lanky only with 1 point, Phantom all the way at the back. Not good for their championship hopes at all. So right now, McLaren and Alpine really in a good spot, and Red Bull, I mean, they have a bit of a gap, which, I say a bit of a gap, they have like 20 points, I think, so not much, especially in Constructors' Championship terms. But they can at least afford one bad race. Ferrari being 40-something points back, a race with only 1 point will not get them much of a chance in the championship fight. As Gabri goes up the inside on PC Woody into turn 1. PC Woody looks for the switchback. Whoa. Very, very aggressive that would have been from PC Woody, and he's backed out. No move into turn 2. So he's struggling a bit, I think. He's out of the air, switch to Sean now. The hard definitely coming into their own already. He has to look behind towards Edwin more than he can look ahead. Lanky also been passed by Bazooka in the battle for the last points playing position in P10. You see only with a lot of ERS there against Gabri. Has a good chance to overtake him on the next straight, you reckon? And that would be also quite crucial, because Guga is getting closer and closer from behind. And so is Kuko. The Alpine's definitely starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Switching strategies as well. As PC Woody sneaks up the inside already, before the DRS zone. But I'm not too sure if it was even that smart, because Gabri, I think, will now have DRS on him. And that could put him under risk. No, PC Woody still got DRS. We've got a yellow flag for Pix at a moment. So yeah, PC Woody with the DRS, Gabri with the slipstream. But it's not going to be enough. Gabri has to settle for 2nd place this lap. Alpine's not going to get involved yet, but they are getting closer and closer. Sean sticking close behind as well, and another yellow flag for Pix. What is he doing? He's almost been caught by Jay and Phantom, who already made a pit stop now. And I think he picked up big damage as well in those 2 incidents he just had. So it takes this race going from bad to worse. Top 5 broken away. Aussie no longer in DRS to Sean. We've got PC Woody, Gabri, Guga, Kuko and Sean. They're trained at their own right now. But it's only 1.5 seconds from Sean to Aussie, so one mistake, one big battle in this train, and it could be all open again between the entire top 9. This Pix is in the pit lane already. And gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And retires from the race. So no points for Pix in this Grand Prix. With a rage quit there on lap 6. PC Woody about half a second ahead of Gabri. Gabri a bit low on ES, so PC Woody should be safe this lap around. And look at the ES he's got. Very, very good ES management there. So much ES left to work with. A yellow flag for Action Rig. I think he had a half spin there maybe, because he's recovered the car fairly quickly. Gotten going once again. As Edwin with the DRS gets past Aussie. A swap for P6. And Viral will try and follow through on the inside now. Coming from the hairpin, Viral. You'd think he has the advantage. But it turns the inside for Aussie into the final corner, but he's going to back out of that one. The corner a little bit too tight, and there's the inside car. You can get spun quite easily through there. Viral might try and get Edwin to turn 1 as well, but he's got 0% ERS. And with that, not the straight line speed he needs to get past Edwin. So he stays in 7th. Gabri has to lose a lot of EAS to stay as close to PC as he is right now. And he gets a 3-second time penalty. I also got a penalty there. Gabri, what on earth? Multiple track limit warnings for the Haas driver. And 3 seconds added to his final race time. That has made his job a lot more difficult. He needs to win this race, really. And now that means he has to pull out a 3-second gap on PC Woody, who is in the form of his life. As of the last, well, no, second half of the season, really. Ever since Spain, roughly. Which actually is not even that late in the season. But, yeah, Gabri with that 3-second penalty. As it stands, will drop to 5th place, so he needs to try and get out of the EAS range from the Alpines. And ideally, of course, past PC will get out of the EAS range to him. Much easier said than done, of course. These guys look all fairly close on pace. I don't think we'll be seeing much of a break in that terrain anytime soon. Maybe in a pit stop phase at some point. This Pub Dog's looking for a move on Aussie for 8th position there. But, yep, no tyre advantage at all for him, so the braking points are fairly similar. And that means there's not much of a possibility to make that move happen under the brakes. Pub Dog settles in behind for 9th. Sean is now losing DRS to Guga. So gonna have to pick up pace a little bit on this lap to stay within 1 second. That DRS on the back straight is unbelievably crucial. You gain so much lap time by being within the second of the car ahead coming onto the straight. So really can't afford, I think, to lose out on that DRS. Once you do, when you see the gap that the top 5 pulled out to P6 and downwards, it opens up fairly quickly. You gain so much time on the car behind if you have DRS and they don't. We are, I think, getting close to the first pit stop phase already. If they are one stop in, I would say from lap 10 to 13, if they can really make the tire last, is where they can pit. So lap 10 for a very aggressive undercut where you have to really manage the hard. Lap 13 if you want to go very late on the mediums, the hards. Of course for Sean and Kuko they have to go a little bit longer than the 3 ahead of them. And that will make the job more difficult. They have to watch out as well not to be undercut by Edwin, Viral, Aussie and Pub Dog, because that's a lot of cars that they have to re-overtake if they were to get undercut by all of them. So they really should try and avoid that. But there isn't a whole lot they can do. If those guys pit, what, like 5 laps ahead of them? Gonna be tough for sure. You see when he's safe in the turn 1, Gabri hasn't got the EAS to get a run down this main straight. And the same goes for Adrian against Viral. Viral also too low on EAS right now. Everyone's staying put for the moment. Just time penalties, we've got Gabri and Pub Dog with 3 seconds each, and that's it. 9 laps into the race. I do wonder if Kuko and Sean are gonna get involved in that battle for the win a little bit more, because you would think that those hards are gonna be much faster than the mediums by now. They will have a lot less wear, but so far Kuko hasn't been able to put a move on his teammate. Of course, he's not gonna want to just dive on the hell of his teammate, but also if he had more pace, you would think Kuko wouldn't put up too much of a fight if it came down to it. But maybe I underestimated how long the mediums would be fast for. I thought for sure the hards would be much faster by now, and that I would be ahead, if anything, rather than still sitting in 4th and 5th on those hards since the start of the Grand Prix. Everyone's staying put as well down this main straight. Sean looked for a move on Kuko, but even with Kuko's mistake in the corner ahead, couldn't do much there. Viral looking for a move on Edwin. Battle for 6th position here. Of course, Edwin doesn't have the air, so he's a little more vulnerable. And he gets squeezed off the track there with Viral. Now on the outside for the final corner, but he lets Edwin back through. But that means he's not under big pressure from Pub Dog, who made a move on Aussie into the hairpin coming out of the EAS straight. But he has not got the EAS for the move on Viral, means he's stuck in 8th for now. If he has to look behind towards Aussie, but he's also got no EAS. Oh, Viral going a little bit deep now. He's invited Pub Dog in. And of course Pub Dog is going to take the opportunity if it's given to him. But he gets hung out to dry on the outside line, hasn't got the exit he needs. But he's getting closer once again, a great exit. And now he has the inside line for the next corner, that should be the advantage that Pup Dog needs. And he's on the inside, while looking for a switchback, but doesn't pull it off, actually just drives into Pup Dog instead. And if Aussie hadn't had a little moment on the exit, Viral might just lost 2 places in 1. Fortunately for Viral, Aussie didn't have that little moment on traction. And Viral holds on to 8th at least. But Pup Dog passed Aussie and about half a lap later passed Viral. Now staring at the back of Edwin. Making some good progress in this race. All calm out front though, the top 5. Not in any rush to make all takes happen. I reckon they are definitely waiting for the pit stop phase. Let's see if we're already going to see people pitting on this lap. But yeah, it's looking mostly like one-stop strategies all over the place. Otherwise they'd have come into the pits already. And off that front-running group they are all staying out. And this midfield group from 6th to 9th also looks like they are all staying out. For at least one more lap. As we have a swap for P2, then that's Guga, who snuck his way up the inside on Gabri into the first corner. Out of nowhere, Lanky in the pits as well now. Oh, Gabri and Guga make contact. And Guga goes off in the grass. Kuko slips through. And in all of that, PC when he has broken the ES to Gabri. As Kuko now sends an up the inside on Gabri, but goes deep. Gabri with the switchback gets back up to P2 and Kuko. Will Barrister had his pants pulled down. As he was just overcommitted into the corner. Guga though, he's lost, it looked like he might have overtaken Gabri actually. And instead he's dropped from, what would have been 2nd, all the way to the 5th position. As he ran out of road, coming out of turn 3, turn 4, whatever, of the sail section, and went off into the grass. PC really though, he has taken full advantage, now 1.7 seconds ahead of Gabri, out of the ES range. He can try and run away with this Grand Prix. But for sure, Kuko has something to say about that. Kuko now has a good run, a good chance to overtake Gabri for P2 with the EAS that Gabri doesn't have. And maybe, just maybe, he can use his better hard tires at this point to get back into 1 second range of PC Woody. But he's got absolutely no EAS left, and that means actually Gabri holds on to P2. Kuko can't overtake him after all. I thought it was going to be a fairly simple move, but he ran out of deployment down the straight, and that's cost him. As Gabri's in the pits already, and so is Piscivoli. Lap 11, both Piscivoli and Gabri in at the same time. And of course, for both of them, that will be a hard tire to the end from here. But they are going for the undercut strategy. And where they're going to come out, I think they've got a nice bit of clean air because Edwin and Aussie are also in the pits. Piscivoli and Gabri are both in clean air, but it's not that long of a gap from Piscivoli to Bazooka. 2.5 seconds, just under 2.5 seconds. So Piscivoli is going to run into the back of Bazooka fairly soon. Has to hope Bazooka pits so he doesn't lose time behind him. As Fandom passes JM for 11th. Action Rick also coming out the pits now in 14th position. As Lanky already made his pit stop last lap. He moves back up ahead of him. Sean now leads the way in this Grand Prix, followed by the two Alpines, Kuko and Guga. Of course, Sean and Kuko, they're gonna have to go a couple laps longer at least. Guga, Pup Dog, Viral, Bazooka, keep an eye on those guys. They might pit this lap onto the Hearts and go at the end of the race. Good news for Alpine, don't have to worry about those legs, they're on a different strategy anyway. And we'll see if Viral responds to the undercut from Gabri and Piscivoli immediately. Yes, he does. Not gonna waste any time on this old tire as Piscivoli gets past Bazooka. Guga into the pits. Can Gabri follow through on Piscivoli quickly? He might get into his DRS range if he gets Bazooka soon. And Bazooka dives into the pit lane just after Gabri has passed him, and Gabri has got DRS to Piscivoli now in all of that. So they come out significantly ahead of Guga. 1 lap undercut with traffic from Bazooka, and look at the massive unbelievably big gap that they pulled out. 5 seconds from Gabri to Guga now. In only one lap. As Pazuka comes out in 12th. Close with Lanky, but he is still ahead of him, just about. Papdog now the last one still out on the old mediums. With how much time people have lost by getting undercut, he is in a bit of trouble here for sure. But then again, it will swing back the other way. He will have fresher tires for the end of this race compared to everybody else in the hards. I do wonder how far Sean and Kuka are gonna be behind after these couple of laps that is left to do on those hard tires, so they can switch over to the mediums, and if they will be able to catch back up. As stays 4 positions, Kuka gets past Sean. Kuka taking the lead of this Grand Prix. And the swap down that long straight, mutually beneficial. Scarby is hunting down PC for 4th for the effective lead of the Grand Prix. But he's a little bit too far back this time around. Although PC doesn't lock up and go deep. Sean getting back past Tuco on the inside through turn 1. No love lost there, the two of them battling in and out on track. Papdog in the pit lane, 12 about mediums. He's gone the longest of anyone. And will now pull on the snuffer hards to go to the end. Gabri takes P3 in this race as he had DS in the main straight, went up the inside on PC Uli. And with that, he is up into the podium spots, into the lead. Once everyone has made their pit stops. However, with that 3-second time penalty, he's going to drop back behind PC Uli. Lanky Brown now gets a 3-second time penalty as well. His first one in this Grand Prix. Papdog came out the pit lane in P9, almost 4 seconds behind Raul and Aussie. So yeah, he has lost quite a bit of time there on that one lap, being undercut by them. 15 seconds from Kuku to Gabri, and that gap of course disappearing quickly. A big tire advantage in favor of Gabri and PC Woody. PC all over the back of Gabri coming up in the main straight now. And it is likely going to be PC Rio taking the Haas man. The halfway stage of the Grand Prix. The McLaren now with the DS enabled. Closing in. And overtaking on the left hand side. Although Gabri's still alongside until that happen. Doesn't want to give it up that easily. I'm not sure he's much of a choice. Or does he? Gabri does hold on to the lead. A good job by Gabri to defend on track. But I'm not sure how much it's worth. Out on the main straight, we see him using DS once again. I think this time he has an even better run on Gabri. To the outside line he goes. But Gabri late on the brakes. PC really looks for the switchback, but can't get the count in the apex as nicely as he would have liked to. And has to settle in for P4. Gap to Lee is of course coming down rapidly as Viral passes Aussie for 7th. JM in the pit as well, coming off those mediums he went onto on the first lap after an incident with Phantom. Gap between the leaders on track and the effective leaders once the pit stop have taken effect. Coming down rapidly. Under 13 seconds now as Kuka makes a pass on Sean for P1 out on track. But they are going to come out behind Gabri and PC by a mile, behind Guga for sure. And I would imagine in that big gap between Guga and Edwin. So they have a lot of work to do, have got Sean and Guga. Sean is in already. An early pit stop from the hards to the mediums for our Triple World Champion. Wants to bite the bullet now. Kuko still wants to go for another lap or two. Get a better tire advantage over everybody else. As PC Woody and Gabri swap places once more. Gabri is gonna try and hold it on the inside through turn 1. PC Woody goes deep, dips a tire in the grass. Just about catches the car. He does lose the place. But the fact he's even still in contention for this race win is a mega job by him there to catch that car just about in time. Sean has come out the pits, just where I thought he would, between Guga and Edwin. 5 seconds back from Guga, 4 seconds ahead of Edwin. So in his own sort of pocket of space right now in 5th position. He's got an undercut on Kuko, so odds are he'll come out in 4th and Kuko in 5th. They can start chasing after Guga. Are Gabri and Piscivoli within reach? I don't think so. That is a big gap. 10 seconds from Sean to Piscivoli. With only 12 laps to go. Unlikely. But keep an eye on it. You never know with the difference in the tires. If Sean can maybe make that work and get himself involved in this battle for the race. But even if he does catch, he'd have to actually overtake these guys. And of course Gabri and Piscivoli will not be making that easy at all. Especially Gabri absolutely needs those points, and Piscivoli, he could certainly use them as well if he wants to decide it today. Otherwise he has to mainly play it safe to bring the car home and be able to decide it next week in Zandvoort. Kuko in the pits, 1 lap after Sean responds to the undercut. Lap 16 coming onto 17. Kuko switching from Ascent of the Hearts from the start of the Grand Prix to mediums. No swoop friendly this time. Gabri holds on against Piscivoli. And Kuko coming off the pit lane. There's Sean. And he is ahead of Kuko by a solid margin. Definitely over a second, about 1.5 I reckon. Has Sean got on Kuko there. Out of the ES range now is Sean, and secured in P4 for the moment, of course. Kuko has a 1-lap tire advantage, which doesn't sound like much, but around China, around the Shanghai International Circuit, definitely is a lot of time, a lot of tire wear that you can put on a tire in just 1 lap. So that definitely will play a factor in this battle for P4. Or battle for P3, you could say, as they are closing in on Guga. And I don't think that's over at all. I do think Piscivoli and Gabri are, yeah, too far gone out ahead to really be caught by anyone from here. We shall see. Maybe Sean and Kuga can prove us wrong on those fresh mediums. Maybe Guga has got something special for us. Who knows? And here comes Phantom with the DRS. Phantom? No, he's nowhere near. Here comes Piscivoli with the DRS on Gabri. The outside line he takes into the hairpin. Why not talk like Yoda? No idea. Gabri makes later on the inside. Piscivoli goes for the switchback now. Beautiful move by him. But it once again means he has the outside line to the last corner. And he can get squeezed off quite easily there. Very, very tight corner, so really... Earlier I said back out on the inside, if you make contact you don't want to get spun. Now I say on the outside, kind of dangerous. Might get squeezed onto the curb. Both is true. You really don't want to be on either side in a two-way situation. You just like to not be in a two-way situation from that corner. As Sean puts in the fast lap of the race, chasing after the cars ahead for the podium spots. Of course, fresh mediums in the car, makes sense to be fast. Kuko's in his DRS range though, so battle for P4 certainly on. The question is, will those two be too busy fighting each other, or is Guga still under threat in the battle for third? And that gets even more interesting when you think about the fact that Kuko, his teammate of course, has a championship to try and win. So maybe he'll try and hold up Sean a little bit to make sure Kuga gets that P3 secured. He has a tire advantage over Sean. You would think he has an easier time of beating him in a DRS battle come the last lap, maybe. Maybe that could be the way for Alpine to secure a 3-4, rather than Kuko maybe even helping Sean by going flat out and yeah, getting into Guga's DRS quickly. I think we're once again gearing up for swap here in the top 2 positions. Piscivoli with a nice run on Gabri, sorry. But Gabri on the inside, staying alongside, brakes late as he does. Gabri with a lot of straight line speed right now. Oh, well, in general, I should say. He's able to stay alongside Piscivoli, but he really shouldn't. And look at that send into the final corner. Gabri being ultra aggressive. Piscivoli choosing to back out once again. And you can definitely tell Piscivoli, he's holding back a little bit. He knows he just needs to get this car home in P2. This wouldn't be the championship decided mathematically. Gabri would still be in contention, but it would be Sully. Well, not quite. By 1 point, Sully would still be in contention. with the race he's missing in Abu Dhabi as well, be considered in that. And yeah, this P2 right now wouldn't seal it for PCWD mathematically, but realistically, if he keeps bringing home solid points, he can't really lose it anymore. He has to have a DNF or something. And of course, Gabri knows that. And I mean, he's not trying to kill him, but he knows he has to win this race. He can't afford another race where he finishes behind PCWD. And that gets even more important, of course, when you remember that Gabri has a 3-second time penalty hanging over his head. And that means that PCWD has already won this race if he just stays with him. The good news for Gabri is he has got a nice gap behind. Over 3 seconds to Guga. About 4 seconds, I believe that is. Yeah, 4 tenths to PCWD, 3.7 to Guga. And he's really once again looking for a move to the last corner. No, goes on none ES. Doesn't want to go for the move here. The problem for Gabri in turn though are these two, Kuku and Sean, on the fresh mediums, although they are battling quite heavily now for the last corner. As Kuku on the inside line holds on to P4. But if they are tripping over each other, that will help Guga and it will help Gabri to hold on against them. A P2 is certainly on the cards for these guys, for one of them. They definitely have to pay to catch Guga, and to get within 3 seconds of Gabri, it's not too far from there either. As Raul now gets himself a 3-second penalty, that will cost him P6 against Aussie as it stands. So Gabri under pressure from Guga, from Kuku and from Sean to get within those 3 seconds that he's got hanging over his head, as Phantom Fox is back in the pits for his second stop in this race. Trying to make a comeback, but it's very, very difficult. I mean, if you have a lap 1 crash that causes you to make an extra pit stop, that is a flat out 30-second time loss, which is, without a safety car, impossible to make up for. And yeah, Phantom Fox is experiencing that right now as he rejoins in last position, and a similar, I think, will happen. I think JM already made a second stop onto the softs, so he's probably going to make a third stop as well. That tire, another 8 laps, not going to happen. As Kuga is closing in loads though, 2.4 seconds now to PCWD. So this 2-way battle may be forming into a 3-way battle soon, and maybe a 5-way battle, because look at Kuku and Sean closing in as well. It is most definitely on here for those top 5 positions. There really could be anyone winning this race. Guga, Kuku and Sean gonna have enough time to actually catch up to PCWD and Gabri. Of course they have to all take PCWD on track. Edwin takes 6th off Viral. Aussie still slotting in behind. Of course a 13-second gap to Sean, so not much of hope there to get involved in the battle for the top 5. And with the time penalties hanging over Viral and Edwin's head, he's already got them beat. Yellow flags for Action Rig, I believe that would have been. So he came out from the long straight as Bazooka is in the grass. After a battle with Lanky, maybe? I don't know. Either way, Lanky ahead now into P10. As Kuku is almost in his teammate's DRS zone. Battle for P3 could be on here, and the question is if there will be team orders for Alpine. Kuku definitely the faster driver right now. With fresher tires, with softer tires. He has everything in his favor. JM in the pits for his 3rd stop now. Coming off those soft compound tires. And I guess onto some mediums to go to the end. Maybe another one of the softs, who knows. But he only has 1 fresh soft, I imagine. Unless he did his qualifying up on a used one in qualifying. He didn't. There we go. A medium for JM. PCWD close behind Gabri, and with a lot of ERS. Could this be a lap and makes his move, or is he going to wait for later? I think he's going for it now. ERS used already on the straight. PCWD now out to the right hand side. The outside for the hairpin there, and he pulls ahead. Gabri can't send it back up the inside, too far away from him. And Guga has to let Kuku pass for P3. Kuku now chasing after Gabri for what is P2 in this race. And the big question is if he can maybe get PCWD. There are not that many laps to go, but Gabri and PCWD are battling out on track quite heavily, as PCWD with a switchback from the first corner. Now Gabri holding on around the outside. Turns into the next part, and Gabri has back in the lead. A great battle between those two, great respect from PCWD and Gabri. But it is costing them valuable time. Kuko and Guga coming closer and closer and closer in behind. And there are still a few laps to go. This is not decided yet. I thought Gabri and Piscivoli would have a 1-2 in the back, but all of a sudden, these guys coming from behind are getting very much involved. There's Lanky on the outside against Bazooka. Battle for 10th place. With Lanky having a time penalty, Bazooka is going to get the final point in this race, as Phantom Fox gets a fastest lap as well, as Gabri has been passed by Piscivoli here, but I think that might have been the DRS game, because that's a very unusual spot for an overtake. And now, look at that, Kuko is all of a sudden right in the DRS range. Guga not far behind, Sean not far behind. We have definitely got a 3-way battle, potentially a 5-way battle for the race win. Gabri re-overtaking Piscivoli into the last corner. He's got the inside line, breaking his latest DRS on the apex, get the car rotated. Is he ahead of the McLaren? Piscivoli is still there, into the last corner, but he backs out and settles for P2. Piscivoli playing it so calm in this race. Now the slipstream pulls out to the outside line for turn 1. Can he hang it around the outside? He's gonna try it, but nope, doesn't get alongside and doesn't want to force it there. Maybe he could have tried to really send it on the outside and get alongside to the next part of the corner, but that would have been risky for sure, and it's just not worth it. Too much to lose for Piscivoli, as he's now under pressure from Kuko behind. The two Alpines in a great spot here, Kuko especially on those mediums. Guga with a tire advantage over everybody else ahead, apart from Kuko as well. Sean not in DRS range, crucially. A battle in the top 4 right now, but can Sean get involved? And this would be great points for Alpine. 2nd and 3rd right now. McLaren finishing 8th and 1st. Oh, and Kuko catches Piscivoli napping, does he? But he looks the rears. What a move that would have been. Piscivoli, yeah, being caught up with Gabri playing DRS games. And I'm not too sure what Gabri's playing at there, because he's just losing time. Now he's invited Sean into the mix, and that's another position he will lose on time penalties. Yeah, Gabri playing DRS games, slowing down, coming into the final sector. And Piscivoli opting not to go for the overtake. Kuko immediately sees his opportunity and absolutely sends it up the inside. But unfortunately couldn't get the car stopped without losing control. Did have a great save though to keep P3. Now Piscivoli looking for a move into turn 1, but he turns the ERS off. Just wants to make Gabri sweat, it seems. And despite the fact these top 5 are battling so hard, look at the gap from Sean to Edwin, 18 seconds. Insane, insane. Oh, Kuko! Oh, Kuko! Kuko with a massive moment, coming out of the snare corner, the opening corner of the lap. And it's cost him dearly. He's lost the ERS to the top 4. He's dropped into 5th position, behind Sean, behind his teammate Guga. And all of a sudden, what honestly I think he had a good chance of winning this race, has just, yeah, really gone up in smoke there. He now needs to try and get back to these guys, which he's already done a good job of, to maybe get within the edge with Sean. Yep, just about. Crucially. But he still has to re-overtake Sean, he has to re-overtake Guga, and then he has to get Piscivoli as well if he wants to win this race. And there really aren't that many laps to go. Just over 4 laps to go. And a yellow flag for Viral in the middle sector here, as he rejoins the race in a 9th position. Not sure how he went off, but he's fine again. Piscivoli now to the ERS against Gabri. Gabri on the inside. Breaks his lazy dares. And Piscivoli holds it around the outside, though. Gabri's still there on the right hand side, and Piscivoli backs out on the inside into the last corner. I'm definitely mixing up names a lot more than I would like to. I do apologize for that. As Piscivoli now on the outside line towards turn 1 is pulled ahead. Piscivoli takes lead of this Grand Prix. Gabri relegated to 2nd place. He needs to try and get back into 1st. He needs to try and build a gap here, but it's just not going to be happening, is it? Gabri could finish down in 5th position with that 3-second time penalty. And now under pressure from Guga. Guga Is he gonna put a move? Like Ricciardo did back in 2018, up the inside, into the hairpin! Kuko thinking about it, not thinking about it, but absolutely sending it on Sean. And sends them both off track, lets Sean back through, but it's cost them both the years, I believe. And Kuko, this this hard medium strategy would have worked out perfectly, especially at the ES games Gabi was playing. But Kuko is just throwing it away. He made a mistake a couple laps ago now in very, very questionable send. Has cost him and Sean Diaz the cars ahead. Of course, this all helps Guga. I don't think it's a strategical team play by Kuko, because Sean and Williams aren't in any sort of title fight. He doesn't need to do that. As Pisivoli has had a great exit against Gabriel, who had a massive moment coming out of that corner into the long straight here. And Pisivoli now out of the ES range. And if Pisivoli can now break away in these last 3 laps, that would be the race deciding. Doesn't have a time penalty, unlike Gabri. So Gabri needs to put his foot down and make sure he stays with Pisivoli if he wants any chance of this race still going onto the line. As it stands, this would make Pisivoli the Season 17 champion, as Guga makes the move on Gabri. Gabri doesn't have the ES. Guga now with a 1 lap tire advantage, 1.3 seconds. Can he get back into the ES range of Pisivoli? It would open up the race once more. It wouldn't be mathematically decided because, of course, Sonny could, in theory, still beat him if he were to race the next 2 races. And Gabri putting loads of pressure on Guga, pushing him through the hairpin. That's not helping Guga at all. Pisivoli breaking further away as Sean now slips through on Gabri, who goes deep into the hairpin. And is going to try and stay alongside, though, through the flat-out left-hander. Sean has the inside for the next corner, and Gabri can't stay ahead. Gabri drops on the 4th, Sean up into the podium spots. Now on the back of Guga. And a P2 seems possible for Sean, does it? Oh! So much for that. Great save though. But he has lost DRS to Guga, and now likely will be overtaken by Gabri and maybe Kuko as well. That will cost him that chance for sure. But, crucially, no DRS for Guga. Pisivoli has broken away. The battle for the top 2 spots seems to be decided somewhat. No DRS for Guga, no DRS for Sean. Sean has to look behind towards Gabri as we have a yellow flag for Pubdog, who has spun out and has lost his entire front wing there. With only 3 laps to go, but no safety car coming out at this point. And Tuko completely cuts the corner. What am I looking at? And gets himself an instant 3-second time penalty. Tuko, he's being really, really wasteful in this second stint. He was honestly had a great chance of a win, and instead he's going to finish in 5th. And now back onto the battle for second place, because they are all in the ES range on that. Guga, Gabri, Sean and Kuko. With the time penalties hanging over Gabri and Kuko's head, it's essentially Guga and Sean and Gabri against Kuko. So the actual battles happening on track aren't going to change the result here. Pisivoli is gone in the end. Pubdog out of the race, with so few laps to go with tires in the pit lane. As Lanky's coming in as well. A pit stop for a fast lap attempt maybe, and Phantom gets up into the points. Lanky with a wing change and a swap for the soft, so yeah, an attempt at the fastest lap by the Ferrari man. He will come out in 12th between 2 Aston Martins. Pisivoli, oh, he's being caught by Guga, but he's got so much EAS that even if Guga gets onto the EAS range in the last lap, he will be able to defend that quite easily. Gabri, he's under pressure from Sean. But Sean is too far back this time around for sure. So no change happening in the top 5 anywhere. All staying put where they are. Actrovic now with a 3-second time penalty close before the end of the race. Making his chance of points a little bit more difficult once more, but he is 13 seconds back. 14 seconds in fact, more like. Back from Phantom anyway. So he needs maybe someone to crash up ahead to get himself a point out of this race. Last lap of the Grand Prix, and Pisivoli is driving towards... Well, I'm not quite sure. Can I call it a championship deciding win? On paper, no. Sully could still turn it around if he were to race Abu Dhabi, but as we know, unless Sully's situation changes and he does end up being able to race Abu Dhabi, this win with Gabi down in 3rd place, only scoring 15 points, a 10-point swing in favor of Piscivoli puts Gabi out of contention. Of course, he will drop behind Sean anyway with the penalties, so Gabi down in 4th. Yeah, puts Gabi out of contention for the championship, and that means it's only between Sully and Piscivoli, and even that is only possible if Sully actually races both of the next 2 races, as he is over 26 points back with this race win for Piscivoli, a 35-point lead he will have, as we have got a crash for Sean on the last lap. Sean, in the chase for the podium, drops it, and will have to settle for 5th place at best. Should be able to keep that at least. And I think Lanky has run out of fuel. No, he's slowing down, setting up for a fast lap attempt. Piscivoli is far enough from Kuka to be safe. A battle for 3rd though, because Gabi under pressure from Kuka, but Kuka hasn't got the EAS, I think. So that means Gabi will hold on to the podium with that crash from Sean at least. Gabi gets something out of this race. I'm not sure it will be much of a saving grace for Gabi there. And Piscivoli over the line, and he celebrates like he's won a championship, because essentially he has. Piscivoli, your race winner here in China. Guga brings home a P2, then Gabi P3, Kuka in 4th place, then Sean brings home his damaged Williams for a 5th place finish. Very, very annoyed he'll be to have lost that podium on the last lap. As Edwin, with his season best result, I believe, in 6th position over the line. Aussie brings the McLaren home in 7th with Viral in behind in 8th. A great result for McLaren, 1st and 7th. Crucial points in the Constructors' Championship, especially with Red Bull only scoring 4 points in this Grand Prix. Viral in 8th, then Bazooka in 9th. Ferrari also only 1, maybe 2 points if Lanky still gets the fast lap that he's currently going for. At the moment I'm going to go towards JM, 34.8 to beat for Lanky. Action Rake bringing the car home in P11, so just outside the points for the Aston Martin man. His teammate JM with a first lap collision with Van der Fox and a 3-stop strategy, ending up in 12th place. So the strategy definitely not it, but also the crash certainly not helping at all. And then Lanky over the line, the last one. A lot of curb use there. That might have been the lap invalid lane actually. Let's see if it counts. I don't think it did, and that means the bonus point going towards JM and Aston Martin. And with that, China's Grand Prix is done. Our podium. Piscivoli celebrates another race win. Unbelievable form he is in right now. Guga follows him over the line. Gabi holds on the P3 with a time penalty, with Sean crashing on the last lap and losing out on it. But it is championship officially over for Gabi. He is no longer in mathematical contention. He is more than 52 points back with only 2 rounds left to go next week at Zandvoort and 2 weeks from now at Abu Dhabi. And unless Sully makes a miraculous comeback in terms of being able to race in Abu Dhabi, this championship is decided and Piscivoli is your season 17 champion. Pole position to win a dominant performance once again. Guga, maybe another couple laps, tire advantage he had, maybe he would have had a chance if the guys stand a bit closer to Piscivoli, made less mistakes. But it's all hypotheticals there. Those don't get you any points. Guga, 2nd place, a great result for Alpine as well. 2nd and 4th, 30 points out of this race. McLaren with 31 points out of this race. Red Bull with 4, Ferrari with 1. So big strides there from McLaren and from Alpine against Ferrari and Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship, which is probably the one to look out for more now. The Drivers' Championship decided in favor of Piscivoli, it would seem. Who knows? I mean, I don't think Sully's going to be racing the last round. I do believe him that he's unavailable, and I don't think it will change. But it could change, so let's wait with making it official for Piscivoli until next week, or until Abu Dhabi, if Sully were to gain those points to get back within the 25-point range now. But yeah, that was the Chinese Grand Prix in Division 2. Another great race here. A good show put on by the top 5 group, but an unbelievable gap as well, of course. It closed down a lot. I mean, Sean had enough time to crash on the last lap, lose his entire front wing, and still hold on to 5th. The gap from the top 5 guys, from Piscivoli, Guga, Gabi, Kuku, and Sean, to the group in behind. Very, very big. Yeah, they really had great pace in this race to create a gap like that, especially also if you consider that Gabi, I think, was slowing it down quite a bit with those DRS games, which probably cost him a place or two at the end as well. Well, definitely not two. He would have lost pretty easily anyway, but maybe one against Guga, who knows. But with that, yeah, I've said all I need to say. I will not see you on Saturday. I'm not there for the Division 1 Chinese Grand Prix. Well, in fact, a lot of drivers in Division 1 that you might be expecting to race are unavailable this week. Kart Racer, Alex, and myself all not racing. Phantom and Sully also aren't racing, so we actually didn't have anyone to put in charge. Thankfully, Bazooka has volunteered to be in charge of that race, and he is organizing the Chinese Grand Prix in Division 1. But yeah, our top group has been broken up quite a bit in Division 1. Jeremy, the only one really left out of that group. So he has got a good chance of a win. Championship-wise, 45 points between Kart Racer and myself. So me missing that race, him also missing that race. And mathematically, 2 rounds to go, I could score 52 points. If Kart Racer were to score 0, it could be possible, but very, very unlikely. But yeah. 2 rounds to go, of course. I will see you in 7 days from now. I will be back for the Zandvoort Grand Prix. Maybe 6 days from now. I'm not sure if I'm going to be commentating the Division 3 test race. Depends if I'm available on that Tuesday. Hopefully I can be. I wasn't available yesterday, so there wasn't a stream for that. But it was a test race to China as well. So yeah, Division 3. Still being worked on and being prepared for next season, for season 18. So something to be excited about as well. Right, now I've actually said all I need to say. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's race. And yeah, have a good evening. Goodbye.